So the story I was saying yesterday, you know, where my childhood friend's dad, that I was friends with her parents for a long time too, he blindly started taking blood thinners after one event that was explainable, which was when he was wearing an EKG monitor for a week, and at 2 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday he had a quote-unquote event, but he also woke up from the most terrifying nightmare that he had ever had at that time. So hence this event was explained. Based on that one event, this doctor put him on blood thinners, which I don't know if you know anything about blood thinners, but they're extremely dangerous. They're hard to monitor. They are toxic. And you don't need blood thinners unless you have a serious clotting issue here. Okay, now my dad was on blood thinners, but he had blood clots. And that's likely what killed him, were the blood clots. But anyhow, okay, so I'm reminded of last year. It's about September, October, I think, last year. So he all of a sudden, he starts shaking uncontrollably. He loses motor function. He has like a severe cognitive impairment, can't put two and two things together, you know, two and two sentences together and all this stuff and everything. Well, based on, you know, my husband is an environmental attorney, my oldest children's father, and I knew that the way that this man was behaving was that he had been poisoned. And, you know, and the doctor's like looking for Parkinson's and all this stuff, and I'm like, no, Parkinson's does not sudden onset. You're not fine yesterday and then you can't put two sentences together tomorrow. That's poisoning. And we need to figure out what the hell did it. It's come to find out he had had a senior citizen flu shot. Well, they put 4 times the heavy metals in a senior citizen flu shot. And guess what is toxic and what symptoms he came up with when I put in his symptoms? He came up with heavy metal poisoning. And so, of course, I tell them that, and they're all like, oh, you're crazy, blah, blah, blah. Now, keep in mind, this man had been on lithium for 30 years, which is metal. So he says something to his family doctor, who's like, yeah, no, that's, you know, that's crazy. Well, when he says something to the psychiatrist about it, he was like, whoa, you need to get off that lithium now. Stop taking it now. And sure enough, guess what? He had heavy metal poisoning. He would have died, likely, if I hadn't have kept telling you need to get your blood taken. I'm telling you something. This is not, I mean, you know, you've known me for 20 years. I'm not, you know, all it is, I'm just asking you to get a blood test. I'm not asking you. And then the doctor's like, oh, well, no, you can't have that blood test. Well, you know, I'm going to tell you what, I'd be damned if a doctor would tell me that I can't get a blood draw. You work for me. My insurance company is paying you. You work for me. Let's not get it twisted. And that's what people need to remember, okay? The medical mafia, you know, they make you think that you have to bow down to them. No. They work for you. They work for the patient, okay? If you fire them, I mean, they're getting money from your insurance company. I mean, but you know, you're the one that decided to go to them. You're the one that decided to, you know, sign the paperwork to get your insurance company to pay them. And a lot of people are paying out of pocket for their insurance. Not to mention you're paying this doctor something out of pocket for what the insurance doesn't cover. I mean, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, but the hospital, the medical community will try to make you think that you have to bow to them. No. Let's not get it twisted. And, you know, part of it, you know, they get away with it because they run a monopoly. It's just, you know, and now they've got all these systems where they can flag somebody as a problem. And, you know, and then you never get fair medical treatment. I mean, you know, but all of Western medicine is trying to kill you anyways. The money's not in the cure. The money is in treating the symptoms and keeping you sick. And just, I mean, anybody that actually takes the time to research vaccines and finds out what a nefarious depopulation agenda those are, yeah. I mean, I'm going to tell you, and that's like I said to my ex-husband, you know, I'm going to end this, but I told him, I said, you know, you're an attorney. You know damn good and well that a company being exempt from litigation, because you can't sue a vaccine maker, okay? If they hurt you, you can't sue them. That was from legislation done in the 1980s. You have to go through the Vaccination Compensation Injury Fund, and believe me, they're going to fight you every step of the way to pay you out. But even at that, they still pay out $4 billion a year in injury compensation for vaccinations, and only an estimated 1% of the injuries, 1 to 5%, are actually paid out. So you do the math. And it's like I told my ex-husband, because I said to him, you know, they're a nefarious agenda to depopulate. He was like, oh, whatever, you're crazy. I said, no, I said, you know damn good and well that any industry, there is no industry protected from litigation. He was like, and? I was like, vaccine makers are. He was like, do what? I was like, yeah. Look into that, buddy. You know that's wrong. Have a good day.